I'm speaking as an educator who has taught in the New York City public school system for 10 years. I'm absolutely outraged by the nomination of Ms. Black. This week, Mayor Bloomberg stated that she was qualified for this job because she will be overseeing 1.1 million consumers. Our children are not consumers. We do not live in a plutocracy. We do not live in an oligarchy where corporations and the privileged few get to make decisions for us and for our children. Our democracy demands more, and our children deserve more.
Mayor Bloomberg wants to appoint a person to the top school superintendent's post in New York City without the basic qualifications for the job. No matter to him. His friend, Cathy Black, he assures us, is an excellent manager, as demonstrated by her experience as a CEO of a magazine. This unlimited claim that Cathy Black is the best is unsupported and untested in any school setting, in any classroom.
A mayoral control has created a monster in this city. If he had picked someone with even the minimal credentials educationally, we would not even be able to stand here today and question the nomination, because mayoral control, again, gives the mayor the sole discretion to pick the chancellor. No educator, no parent, no one has a say. And then he appoints this woman and says there are no interviews until she is appointed. So we can't even get an opportunity to hear this woman talk about her vision for my children. And to me, that is very troubling. An undemocratic process does not benefit anyone but the mayor.
It's just a complete slap in the face that this would even be a consideration. We need somebody who speaks our languages, who has a concept of what it is to be a working person under these very hard circumstances that we find ourselves in. Next year, we're going to be subjected to budget cuts that are probably unprecedented, and we're going to be asked to grin and bear it. I ask that we are not the only ones paying for the mistakes made by the likes of the very people who are being appointed to our highest offices in this city.
The chancellor of one of the largest systems in the nation, school systems, must know something about schools, must know something about curriculum, must know something about assessment, not just that students should be tested.
Let me thank all of the leaders here today for standing up for 1.1 million children. There are a lot of people out there that feel the same way we feel, but are not willing to take the risk and stand up. They are heads of large nonprofit organizations that depends on the type of monies that are given out by Bloomberg and others. There are individuals that are elected officials that are not willing to stand up and say the right thing on behalf of the children.
We really need an educator at the helm after 8 long years of Joe Klein, who clearly didn't understand what our children needed to succeed. We need someone who realizes that teaching is not testing, that learning is not just cramming into your head facts so you can answer multiple choice questions.
I wrote a letter to Commissioner David Steiner, which is here, asking him not to grant the waiver to Kathleen Black. And let me tell you why. I said that Mayor Bloomberg, when he appointed Ray Kelly, the NYPD commissioner, he talked about his many years of experience in NYPD. When he appointed Salvador Casano, the commissioner of the fire department, he talked about his 40 years of experience. He didn't say that about Cathy Black. The reason why I request that he withdraw the nomination is because he said, when the media asked him, that he did a public search. You and I know that that was an absolute lie.
Martin Luther King and Medgar Evers would have to be turning over in their graves at what this says to our city. A secret process is not a public process. I am urging the mayor to withdraw Cathy Black's nomination as Chancellor of the New York City Public School System.
There appears to have been no process undertaken that accords with the principles and values associated with equal employment opportunity. If one believes an open and fair process. And that is not based on who you know, rather than who you are. Then it is essential that we practice as the principles of equal employment opportunity. To do less would turn the clock back on fairness in public employment, and we're not prepared to go backwards. The selection of Ms. Black raises the specter of cronyism and adds to the cynicism surrounding our public school system. Let me be personal. As a proud graduate of the New York City public school system, PS 131 in Borough Park, Brooklyn, Pershing Junior High, and New Utrecht High School in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. I'm here today because of the public education system and Mr. Lux, Mr. Rubel, Ms. Batch, Ms. Grau, the teachers who taught me to use critical skills to question people in power, to question injustice and unfairness. I'm doing that today. And finally, as a civil rights lawyer, I believe in the rule of law. And I'm asking Mayor Bloomberg to follow it and to engage in it today by undertaking a public search for an educator to lead our public schools. Very simply, Ms. Black does not appear to meet the legal requirements to be our next chancellor. And the process Mayor Bloomberg used to select Ms. Black is unacceptable.
What we need to see is someone who understands what it means to learn and to teach and has to invest in the classroom and stop all the no-bid contracts and the expensive consulting and the expensive testing contracts. And that's what we fear that she will do. If you haven't been a teacher, you don't know how difficult it is, and you don't know that what matters most happens inside the classroom between a teacher and their students. And that's what we need. We need someone who understands that process.
We know and have numerous examples. It's not a done deal. As Yogi said, it ain't over till it's over, and it hasn't even begun yet. So for those New Yorkers that are listening and watching, make that phone call, get involved, and we can show the powers be that the people's voice does count. Say no to the waiver. What do we say? No! To the waiver. What do we say? No! One more time. What do we say? No!